released the schedule last week. We have 12 rounds on there. Basically, multiple rounds, multiple cities, no futures racing, and we're starting off East Coast instead of West Coast. So what are your guys' thoughts? Are you going to any rounds? Do you think it's going to play into anybody's favor starting East Coast as opposed to West? Are we going to see guys we would usually see on the West Coast on the East just because they want to ride when the season starts? And we're not starting the normal first Saturday of January. We're not starting until the 16th. So who wants to go first? 3, 2, 1, Battle Royale.
Cole, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, so as far as rounds,
I didn't even answer the question. You just went right into talking. Okay.
No, yeah, I'm taking the bait and I'm running with it.
I'm just kidding, man.
No, as far as rounds go, definitely going to go to at least one of the Indies. I don't know if I'll be able to swing the 3 days in Indy. If worse comes to worse, just drive home and drive back. Not too terrible of a drive. Daytona for sure. I usually go to that every year. It falls on my birthday, and kind of a family thing. Usually plan on every year. I go down there with my uncle, so I'll be there.
Hey, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does Daytona, do they call you every year to be like, hey, so we've got your Daytona Supercross tickets here ready to go? Because they've called me like 3 times now.
No. I haven't done anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Travis is important.
Some chick called me.
Well, I don't. Well, this is how important I am. I don't buy my own tickets. Some guy just gets them for us, and then I give him the money.
Oh, wow.
Well, all right.
It's like drugs.
Yeah, it's slinging tickets. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go to that one. Houston, are they starting east or west?
East.
They are starting east. Houston would be cool just because that's at Jerry World, right? Big Cowboy Stadium.
No, that's
that's
Dallas.
Arlington. Yeah, that's going to be the Arlington one.
Oh,
or no, yeah,
God.
Dallas happens. I'm sorry.
Are you
No, that
geographically
would be a real
challenged?
cool round to go to. I went to the Cotton Bowl there, football stuff. And just that giant jumbo screen in the middle. I'm not a huge football fan, but being there in a football setting was like, oh my God, I wish there was a dirt bike track in the middle of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be really cool to see with, just that atmosphere, the way that building is, and being there. Be pretty rad to see the bikes there. But yeah, I don't know if we'll swing that. If that's Moto Aftermath paying for my ticket.
No.
But yeah, other than that, I think it's going to be really interesting with the East starting. It'll be interesting to see how the teams treat it. If they're still going to do their bullshit where they announce it the day before, or whatever, however they do it, with a whole different format. I don't know if they'll have an idea a little earlier or not. So it all depends on those last 3 rounds that they didn't even announce. Where do you guys think those are going to be?
I personally think that with them going for 3 rounds in Arlington being west, I think that they'll go the next 2 after that. I still heard that Atlanta is a possibility, them going to Georgia, and then I think, because technically it's 4, because it's round 13, 14, 15, 16. So I think rounds 13 and 14 will be in Atlanta as an East. And then I think round 15 and 16, I still think we're going to St. Louis, man. And I think it'll be the West, and then obviously we round out in Salt Lake. So those are my guesses. I mean, I know that Mathis and JT, I don't know what we just think, what he said, but I think that Florida is still a possibility. Can we all agree, though, we're not going to California at all? Like, that's just not happening.
No. They're hanging on for California. Like,
yeah, I just don't see it, though.
I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it either. But legitimately, during the presser they did with the press, people were asking, and they basically said, like, we're hanging on for places like Vegas, California, etc. Now, I have to agree with you. I think that St. Louis is more prevalent. Florida, I don't know. They didn't really talk about that at all. Atlanta was brought up just because everybody likes going there. But the problem with Atlanta is the stadium is so expensive that they're not really sure if they can do that. Now, they're also holding out for a Northeast stadium, too.
That'd be kind of sketchy, being that it's late in the year. I mean, I know that we've gone to Gillette Stadium and it hasn't snowed, but it's also been cold, so I know that always comes in their mind. But I know that Mathis is also still holding on to San Antonio as being a possibility. I don't know. As far as the schedule, I think it's cool. I am super pumped that we get a Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, 3 different times in 2021. I don't know if you guys listened to the pod that Mathis and JT did right after the schedule came out, where they just kind of talked about it, but like they kind of went over more of the, I guess you could say, the economic side of it, like what they thought is like in these cities and stuff, and being in these cities, more of them on the East Coast, not much going on during the wintertime. And I think it's very interesting because Mathis brought up a good point. Like, he seems to think that the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday races, there will be people that'll come in and do both the Saturday to Saturday, but he's convinced, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you guys listen to it, but this is my impression. He seems to think that the Tuesday rounds are going to be kind of, I guess you could say, on the lesser end of people being in the stadiums. And I think I would have to, what's that?
I agree with that.
Now, here's the question, though. Do you think on Tuesday night in the middle of wintertime on NBC, nothing going on, do you think our ratings are going to be high for those? Because everybody said that for the Utah rounds, the Wednesday nights were shit.
I think it's, yeah, go ahead, Travis.
Well, where did you hear that the Wednesday night rounds were shit? Because I heard that the ratings were pretty good for the whole end of the season thing, man.
See, JT said the exact opposite. He said that it sounded like our ratings were crap for the Wednesday rounds.
Weird. I don't know. I thought you said the Saturdays. I thought you said the Wednesdays were good.
I don't know. Maybe it was just misinterpretation on my end and stuff. But either way,
because I listened to it also. Like, I know what you're talking about. I listened to it also. Now, here's my thoughts as far as the Tuesday nighters go. I think you're going to be surprised at how many people actually show up. Because think about it, okay? They do every other sport during the week. So why can't we do this? And I mean, to the same effect that they're talking, like, you're going to get a bunch of people from a bunch of different states coming out to do this. And no one's been able to really travel a whole lot. There hasn't really been a whole bunch of places to go. So you have this now. People are going to make a little week trip out of it, be in a different city, hang out, do some stuff, and go to all 3 races. I mean, I know my plans are Indy, I'll be there Friday through Tuesday and probably come home Wednesday morning or something. Other than that, I don't have anything set for sure. I'm kind of leaning towards going to Glendale because there's a dude that owns a powder coat shop down there that I want to go check out and kind of get mentored by him for a week. So I may go down there for all 3 of those and then work at his shop in between. And then, I've been contemplating like the Houston first 2, like Saturday to Tuesday. I don't really want to be in Houston for a whole week. I just don't know that there's that much there for me to do. I'm sure there's plenty to do, but I'm just saying, like, there isn't a whole bunch that jumps off the
You got to know the area.
Yeah, and then, but, dude, I've been thinking about Dallas, too, for the Saturday, Tuesday, to go down there and check some stuff out. So, I'm
willing to bet the Indy sold out for both races.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Indy, I know it kind of contradicts what I just said, but I think the Indy round, people will go for Saturday, Tuesday. I think both of those, I think they'll be at capacity for whatever the capacity is at these races come next year.
Yep, 100%.
But I think Indy, if we don't sell out at any of the rounds, Indy will be the one that it will for sure sell out at.
Oh,
I guarantee it.
Well, they said, I'm sure, well, actually, I don't know if you listened to the Weeds one he did with the presser for the
the Exhaust podcast.
Yeah, but Feld,
no.
They said so they did Monster Jam for the first time, and I don't know if they were Dallas, Houston, whatever. Anyway, wherever they were, they said the capacity they could have for the stadium they were in was 17,000, and they were 16-something on the Saturday, and then Tuesday they were 14-something, I want to say.
Okay.
So pretty good for 2 days within a few days there. Actually, I don't know if they did Saturday, Tuesday, whatever it was like 16 something and then 14 something for back-to-back days basically. So they did pretty good on that, and I agree with you though. I think Indy will definitely be sold out. Indy's usually sold out anyway during the winter, and now you add in the fact that we don't have a lot of other rounds in the area, so you're going to draw people from literally the entire Midwest there to come to Indy to do that. So
yeah, and as far as the racing aspect of it, I think it's going to be interesting. I think Cole brings up a good point. Like, I guess, do the teams still go through the same bullshit? Are we going to be waiting to the last second? And we shouldn't really think anything other, because they've done it for so many years. But it is going to be interesting, because if you think about a lot of the guys that are in the situation that are the favorites for the 250 titles, you got a lot of guys that are either, still coming off injuries, changing new bikes, and we'll get into that in a little bit, as who's on each team. But it's going to be interesting to see which guys try to pick which coast they go on, because, for instance, if you talk about J. Martin Craig on new bikes, how is the Honda situation, with is Hunter, are they going to put him up first in the East Coast? But then again, he's getting that shoulder fix. So is Jet going to go first? What's the deal with Faulkner? You talk about Hammaker for the new pro circuit. He's getting dialed in. Jarrett Fott. So it's going to be very interesting to see who goes with which coast, and if they lobby for different coasts. I believe that you'll see a lot of what we would call the title favorites, no matter what coast they go on. I think that a lot of those guys are going to opt to go for Glendale and be in the West. That's just my opinion. I don't really have any facts behind that. I just think that we're going to see the East Coast be a little bit, I don't want to say on the slower side, but just not as stacked, because a lot of guys are still figuring their shit out.
Yeah, I know one name we'll touch on later, Shimoda, wants to do nothing but West rounds, and he's in talks with the Phoenix team, and they're an East Coast-based team, so they're butting heads over that as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a big issue. So, I don't know. I think the racing, it's going to be very interesting on the 250. And as far as the 450s, you start thinking about some of these, what the soil is going to be like at a lot of these rounds and stuff. And other than Indy, you're looking at 2 Texas rounds where, I know in the past when we've gone to Houston, way back in the day, it was, it could be tacky and stuff. But, you're looking at a lot of these rounds, the dirt really doesn't favor any of these guys in the 450 class over another, as compared to when we go from the out, the open stadiums to back into East where it's tacky, unless we go to Atlanta and St. Louis. But, like I said, you're looking at the Texas rounds where the dirt's going to be just hard. In Glendale, it's been up and down depending on the rain that they get out there. So, I think that with us not going to a lot of the normal places that we go to, it's going to be very interesting, because nobody's really going to have the momentum as far as like who likes the soil better. So I don't know. I think that, you normally don't think about that kind of stuff with Supercross, but I think this next season is going to be very interesting, and it's going to put a lot of level playing field. And once again, how are these guys going to go to? Now they know for sure we're doing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Is that going to benefit some guys, that don't like to travel as much? But what about if the guys get hurt at the first round or whatever? It's going to be a very interesting season, and I don't know. I hope it brings a lot of parity into it, because, there's a lot of different storylines, especially with everybody switching teams. So I think it's going to be a very interesting year, even with us not knowing, 4 rounds. And do we have any idea, like, when we think Utah, like what the date for the final round is?
They have a hard stop. I don't remember. It's like the first or second weekend in May, but I can't remember what exactly it is. But they do have a hard stop for it. Prater said that on the podcast with Weege last week. They have a hard stop because motocross has a hard start, I think, at this point. I think.
Okay.
So they do have a hard stop, because they are working with those guys too. Because they have to this year, because since they're not doing futures, they have to work with the motocross side so that these kids can get their pro points so that they can race Supercross, because, Supercross and motocross are totally similar, so that's going to work well.
Or, maybe we just go with, what we kept talking about the whole entire outdoor season, and we just move the outdoor season back, so then we won't have to worry about all this bullshit.
That would be
I'm down with that.
That would be fantastic.
I am, man. After seeing the way this year has gone, and the way the season went outdoors, even though, it kind of takes away from, the guys that, love to suffer. I'd love to see a late July start into early October every year. I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be
give these guys some time off. So, I don't know. But
no, I agree. I got one last thing to kind of wrap up the schedule stuff.
Sweet, go for it.
Do you think the mid race, so like Tuesday races and stuff like that, will bring in more of the casual fans? So you got the like all the corporate workers and stuff that live downtown have nothing better to do on a Tuesday night. Do you think NEC Supercross and just go, oh, I'm going to check this out?
Like, is just a one person coming in, or like a person bringing their family in?
I don't know. Let's say you got post-grad life. You got a bunch of college graduates that just moved to town. They got jobs. Basically like the workaholics guys. You got 3 guys sitting in an office or something like that. They're boys still. You think they say, hey, fuck it, let's get drunk and go to a Supercross?
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, considering the only reason I say that is because if you look at a lot of the rounds that we're going to, the city life is pretty good, So maybe. I mean, I could see it, especially like I said with Indy, Houston being the same way. I don't really know what the nightlife is like in Glendale, but I could see it.
The nightlife in Glendale is pretty good, especially right there by where they're at. So. But
well, then, I mean, could.
I think a lot depends on what happens in the next few weeks here that is above our pay grade and stuff we're not really talking about. So,
yeah.
Depending how all that goes, could depend a lot on that happening. Because I'm not sure there's as many people working in the office setting downtown as what there was before. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's going to be an interesting year, though. It's going to be very interesting. And, hey, man, fucking 3 races in 1 week. That'll be, technically a week. So that's cool.
It's gonna be really weird having, like, those big breaks, though, like the 14-day and the 18-day break. That's going to be kind of weird, but, I mean, whatever.
I think it's going to benefit some guys, though. I think that Mathis and JT brought up a good point that, like, depending on how next year goes, since we're doing it for an entire season, if the numbers line up right, they get people in the stadiums, the viewership is up, the teams kind of like having the time off. It's going to be very interesting to see what Feld and the teams decide moving forward.
Yes. It's definitely a forced learning experience is how I think Prater put it. And, we'll see how it goes as to whether it translates into stuff in the future. So let's move on, though, to talking some silly season, some team changes, some things like that. Cole, what's up first on our list here?
The first thing I know is you've gotten really quiet the last 5 minutes, so I don't know what you got going on.
Really? Huh, that's weird. I don't know. My levels show the same here, so I don't know. Stupid technology.
Fucking technology.
Yeah, well, whatever. Roll it.
The first thing, today being Monday, we all got our